Welcome back to Home Farm in Court Farm Country Estate. We need to get the linseed seeded and rolled into field 58, but with no money, we'll have to hope there's enough seed and fertilizer in our seeder to get the job done. Let's get farming. Today is a great example of when we could do with a second tractor, or even just a little truck or something with a flatbed in it. We are likely to run out of seed and fertilizer, and I haven't got high hopes for us actually making it through today without running out of those two things. I've got absolutely zero money, as I mentioned, and so if we can get away without having to borrow a whole pile of money to get this job done, that would be great. We could seed this tomorrow, but the thing with that is that's leaving it right till the end of the year, and if anything goes wrong, it gives me no leeway at all. So very much this is the case of we're going down here. We've got 1,196 liters of linseed seed that we can plant, and we've got 877 liters of the fertilizer. So if this does fall short, we're gonna have to take our big flatbed trailer on this and head down to the shop and get this all or get it loaded up with that, and we're gonna have to borrow a whack of money. I mean, we're gonna have to borrow £10,000 just to buy that. So yeah, anyway I look at it, it's not great, but I have hopes. We're gonna head down the bottom here as we normally do and into field 58. The nitrogen level is not great. The other way I could do it is I can actually get it so that we don't put as much nitrogen on at the moment. Give it just a preliminary pass. We do have the fertilizer spreader, the lime spreader that we've been using. We did lime this. I was just thinking, did I lime this field? Yes, I did. What I did then was mulch it. So we're mulched, we're limed, we're good. I think what we want to do then, get this unfolded, and we'll see how fast we're getting to the fertilizer. The fertilizer especially worries me. I don't think, though, that is such a big problem. The seed, if we run out, we can't continue. The fertilizer, if we run out, we can always top up later. So let's start this up like that. Yeah, look at how much fertilizer we need to put on here. I'm going to make an executive decision here and half the amount of fertilizer. So what we'll do is we'll come into here, we will turn off the automatic application rate for the fertilizer, and we will up it to about 100 kilograms per hectare, so about there-ish. Get ourselves about halfway, but let's take that down a little bit. I think we can get away with maybe 85. So get us about halfway there on what we have. 90 was where we'll go. And then that will preserve a bit of the fertilizer here. We can buy some fertilizer when we get our seeds in later. And we should then at least be able to get started on here with the fertilizer levels. It's going to be tricky, and it's not going down overly fast. So that's actually good news. I think we're going to have the fertilizer to do this, and because this is loam with our automatic application rate, I think we're going to be good as far as the seed goes as well. In fact, yeah, there's no variable rate seed rate for linseed, so that's going to be fun as well. It's not going very fast through either, though, which is great news. To be honest, I think if I'd had no fertilizer in this seeder, what I'd have done today is just seeded the field and come with the fertilizing later, just to make sure that we got something in at this point. The linseed has quite a big autumn window. It's very much a winter crop on here, whereas it only has a single month window in sort of the springtime. Spring linseed needs to be planted fairly early, so I am happy to get it in at this point. And even if I need to come back and do a job a bit later, we know we've got some field scanning to do. We know we've got some more lime spreading to do, which is why we've held on to the lime spreader for now. And so having that means that I do have fertilizer spreading capability at the moment, which is great news. Next month, what we are going to have to do is weed this. We're going to get some pretty big weeds straight out. We have got the weeder from the Horsch pack. I think it's the weeder from the Horsch pack we got on here, which is the VF weeder. That is that is a hoe, so that will deal with those weeds and get them gone rather early, which is great. We do not want weeds on here. We're really trying to get these fields as high quality for this second year as possible. And so that means getting through and getting everything spot on first time if we can. He says as he puts in less fertilizer than he needs to, but we'll see how we go. We're down to 726 litres, so it is going down a bit quicker now. I think the decision to not do the full fertilizer is going to pay off, and we should be able to get all this in without an issue. We've still got plenty of seeds as well, so this is actually going pretty well at the moment, and I know I just jinxed the whole thing by saying that. I still got my eye on field 59, which is the next field over that had these sunflowers in. And it would be really nice if when it's been limed like that, that actually changed the pH level of the field. As far as I know, it doesn't. And it means that we are in a position where we'd buy that field and then wouldn't be able to lime it because the ground texture is already limed. And then we can't work the field to get it where we want to get it, which is actually really annoying. I would like it if when I bought the field and it had been limed like that, it actually had the right pH level at that point. It's never been the case as far as I know. The texture changing to being limed while the field is owned by somebody else doesn't change the pH level of the field itself. So yeah, you still need to go in and lime it when you buy it. But it is a little bit annoying because I know if I bought that now, I wouldn't be able to lime it because as far as that's concerned, that's already been limed. 462 litres of fertilizer left, and we are now under half of the fertilizer that we started with. So we would have run out around about this point had we actually gone with the full whack of fertilizer on here. That is great. That's kind of vindication of what I was trying to do. So I'm really quite happy with that. It means that we have got the right decision in putting only 90 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare on here. And while we're not up to full whack, it does mean we at least get some on here, and we've got a good spread, a good use of it on here as well. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's going fairly well. I am missing a few bits that I'm having to go back and pick up every so often, partly because I'm talking while I'm doing the seeding. But in general, it's gone fairly well, this, and we have got the linseed in nice and early. Means a springtime, well, means that we'll be able to harvest this earlier next year, which is great. We won't have such a bunched up harvest, especially if we manage to get a third field. Also means that we have plenty of time to get all this done, despite the fact that we're doing a month per video and doing just single day months. We seem to be working to our farm pretty well and getting everything done. So I'm happy with this. This is going really well as a setup. And now that we are halfway through this series, over halfway through the series, I'm actually interested to see what you guys think to doing this the slightly different way, to doing single month days and working through the farm a little bit quicker. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I've enjoyed doing this way. It feels like we're getting an awful lot more done and keeping things interesting and fresh. But as always, I love to know your feedback. So let us know down below. This row will finish off the main body of the field. Once we've done that, we can get these headlands done. We've got 288 litres left now of the fertilizer. And looking at the end of the field there, yeah, we're going to need to go back a little bit, I think, and just fill this in. Otherwise, I think this isn't going to be a full width along here. Let's just measure it and check. It would be close. So we'll line up here. We will take, yeah, we'll take just a small length along here so that we can fill this in and that we know we're not going to miss anything. So, yeah, just bring it along here like so. And up to that point, and we know then that that works as a width, and then we've got to turn around and not end up in the river, which, yeah, that's not going to happen at that angle. Let's bring this back then and turn. Oh, that's going to be close. Yeah, that's not going to do it either. I'm going to go back the other way and hopefully not put my seeder in. I don't like driving over my seeded crop like this, but it's not really much of a choice when it's between that and giving the tractor a drink. We seem to be going pretty well as we're going around these headlands now. Trying to keep it up to the edge, keep an eye on that, but at the same time, keep myself nice and straight and in the right places. It's gone in well, this linseed. We are just coming up to 200 litres of the fertilizer left. So we've got a good coverage of fertilizer on here, and yeah, about as much as I would expect it to have based on this, or based on what we were looking at the beginning. Getting into that corner, or getting into any of these corners, is great fun with the seeder. Straighten things up, make sure we again have the best coverage we can, and yeah, then just finish off this headland. That is gonna leave us with most of the day to A, get this rolled, but B, maybe take on something else. I want to do the mowing tomorrow and do a whole load of silage bales. So get that done and get an autumn cut in if we can. So that would be great. Turn that off. Wow, that actually has gone better than I expected. I'm glad I turned that fertilizer rate down. And 370 litres of seed as well. A big advantage to planting in loam. We'll go get the roller now. We'll come back down to this field and we'll get that all rolled in. Get the seeder back into the shed here. Is this... I'm not sure if this is the Horsch seeder from the DLC. This is the Horsch seeder from DLC, yeah. So that's performing really, really well on here. We know we've got the weeder, the hoe from that DLC as well. They've both been a really great setup on here. All right, get that in as well. And we can now go and roll this. And we've got a fairly big roller here, so I don't think this is going to take too long. It should work out pretty well for us. So I'm going to do the rolling as realistically as I can. That means not lifting my roller. We'll unfold it there. Yeah, this is a massive roller. This is a huge roller. We don't need one this big on the farm this size. Really don't. But it will quickly turn this field around. So I'm happy with that. Let's put it down. There we are. And then away we go. Make sure we hit the edge. 154 is what we're aiming for, direction wise, and along here, and get this all rolled in. I will be very, very happy once we got this field done. This is absolutely mulching through this field. I was going to say absolutely destroying this field, but we're not destroying, we're just rolling in, and it's rolling in really well. This is our fourth row, and we're already about halfway through the field. That is just such a big roller, and this isn't even the biggest roller that we can get on here. I'm using the biggest one of these actually on the oaks for the realism experiment, and it is, yeah, it is much bigger than this. Just trying to get that edge so that we don't miss any spots. Not the end of the world if we miss a couple of really little bits. That's not going to lower our yield very much at all. But making sure that, yeah, we get as much of the field rolled as possible is great. And this is just working brilliantly on here. It's not rolling in the few patches of stones we've got, because I think those are mediums, yeah. But it's not worth hiring a stone picker and everything to get rid of those. They're not causing a massive problem for us. I could get hold of a shovel, and there are buckets, stone buckets that I can put onto our skid steer to get them. I'm trying not to get the skid steer down here. Skid steer has enough trouble getting through the mud as it is. And there's no route down to this field that isn't absolutely muddy. So, yeah, that's why I haven't got one of those stone buckets on the skid steer and come down here. I think if I had a telehandler, if we had gone the telehandler route on here, I might have done that. But as it stands, yeah, the bucket is not really an option at the moment. Seem to have got that quite nice. There's a very small area at the edge that's not been rolled. Better than my seeding in that corner where I've kind of missed the corner a bit. But overall, that's gone fairly well. I still need to roll the far end. That currently isn't rolled, so I'll lift this to go up and do that. But otherwise, yeah, we've got pretty good coverage of the field. Single end, and that has gone well. Yeah, happy with that. Let's lift this then, and we'll just go and do the other end of the field. And it's not even midday yet. I did suspect that we might get through all of this fairly quickly, and I'm glad to see that, yeah, it's actually gone best case scenario for this, which is really good news. I want this field. I really want this field. How much is field 59? So it's farmland ID 136. It's a pretty nice field in general. It's mostly sandy loam. It's 121,000. Let's see what we have in storage and what we have in storage as far as its worth goes. We have linseed, which at best price is going to be 28,000, and field bean, which at best price, which sells for a lot, is going to be 39,000. So yeah, we're going to be massively short any way we look at that. Oh, that's such a pity. I really, really would like this field. I don't know if we have the auction mod on here. Even if I did, though, it would have to be a minor miracle for it to come up. And yeah, that's not going to happen, especially if we want to get this loan down before the end of year 2. Now, as I have time today, I think what we're going to do is get the cows fed. We can top up their feed. We can top up the feed for the sheep as well. We'll go and put 3 more bales in for them. And that way we keep on top of our animals and we make sure that all of that is good. Yeah, I can't afford to buy a pressure washer, which I really could do with at the moment. So let's just bring this around to here. I'm going to put a silage bale into this while we're here. I need to back up a little bit further. There we are. That'll do it. And hook that up. Bring this forwards. And then we can get our little skid steer here to load in a silage bale. We don't keep many silage bales at the farm. We tend to sell the majority of them off. Oh, you can't tell whether you got your wheels turned with this. There we go. That up. And I want to just quickly... Oh, do I have to have it not on my forks in order to get the... Yeah, in order to plastic it or to unwrap it, I need to not have it on the forks. It's only 1,300 litres in this one. So put that in there. That is, yeah, just 1,300 litres. Bring this over this way. And we'll get it lined up so that we're at the edge over here. So fairly easy for me to then go and empty it. I need a 1/3 to a 2/3 mix. And I'm not sure we're going to get that from this. No, 450. No, that's a 1/4. So we'll get this in. We'll go and grab another silage bale and we'll just top things up a bit with that. Over the top. There we go. And in. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's gone in. Let's see how that does. It's all good at the moment, right up until, yeah. We've got enough silage in there still. We have way more hay than we need. Let's go then and grab ourselves another silage bale and just top things up. I'm only going to put enough silage in to even things up because we need to get to doing just 2 bales again. Oh, it's unwrapped that one. That was definitely not the one I was pointing at, but it was the closest one to me. Grab that and we'll go and put this into the feed mixer. Bring it around and just reaches into this does. Right, and then if we put it there, we can get it to even up like that. Still got 2,900 litres in that, so that should be enough to do the next mix. We want to pull this forward. I don't think it's going to unload. No, because our unload side is wrong. TMR is not accepted here. We need to go further along. There we go. That's got it. And that means that we can start getting some feed into our cows again. Trailer is empty. Let's put the second load in. So grab this again. This little skid steer is all we need in the yard. With the automatic, or with the loading bale trailer, bringing everything back to the farm, we just need this around here to pick up bales, pick up pallets, move stuff about a bit, and just generally keep working around the yard. I've not had a single tractor set up in a while, and it's actually working really well for me. I normally don't like it because there's not a lot of variation in thumbnails and things, but yeah, for us on here today, it's working really, really well. And we're getting a lot done on the farm with just that single tractor. And I'm loving that we've got the reverse drive on it. I did not know that was a feature of that tractor. And that is going to make doing our work with the baler setup so much easier. Again, diminished first bale or diminished mix, but it is a TMR mix. I think it's not quite. I'm so pleased I didn't start unloading that. Yeah, that's still got slightly more hay than silage in its mix for the ratio. So plenty of silage in there, enough silage in there, but not enough to actually offset the hay. So we'll just offset the hay enough. Again, not too much will need to go in here for this. There we are. We've still got 4,600. That is more than enough to do the next one. And we might as well put all of this in here now. It will keep the cows going until we've created more silage bales. Unload it. And there we go. Third load. And yeah, in with that hay bale. That is looking like a good mix this time. Or is it? Is it? Yes, it is. 49% to 51%. It's a good mix. And we're 87% full on this time. Oh, this is getting better the further along I go into this job. I think by the time we put the last bale in, we will actually be good. How full is our feed? Yeah, this isn't even making a dent. We don't have many cows, so there is that. But yeah, it's not even really making a dent. Our cows have also hit best price as well. We could very easily sell our 8 cows and make a load of money. I want them to reproduce first. I want some calves first. We also have nearly 7,000 litres of milk to sell soon too. And we're generating a nice little bit of slurry. As far as our sheep go, we've got lambs. It's late in the year, but we have got lambs. And yeah, so they've just reproduced. That is fantastic news. To have a group of lambs off here, we might be able to make a little bit of money off those in a little while too. So that is all really great. One of the things that I really like about this mixer is when you do have 2 full bales in. When we got a 5,500 and a 4,500 litre silage and hay bale respectively, it gives you an almost full trailer with a perfect mix. In fact, something that we can now do, because we have a 95% mix, is just go grab a straw bale. We can fill this up, get a maximum amount of feed off here with just a little bit of straw in the top in the mix. That is actually why I have the straw here, why we have this linseed straw on the farm. That bale wants to be further forward, doesn't it? No, that is just the top bale having unloaded badly. I'm hoping it's gonna stay. No, it's not. Never mind. we'll deal with that later. But yeah, so we can top this off with straw and get the most out of our mix from this, which is something that up until now we haven't done. We haven't topped the straw off on here because we haven't had any straw. It won't take much. You can see we've got 7,000 litres. So I'm just going to put this straw bale down here because it's not much other use. And yeah, there we go. Just an extra 500 litres. Tops us off to 10,500 litres. And we end up with that little bit extra in the mix. One more hay bale. One more silage bale. Top it off with a little more straw. And the cows are done. Last job that needs doing for today then is to go and give the sheep some more feed. They should be absolutely all right with what they've got already. But I want to just keep them topped up. If I can keep the animals topped up when I have free moments like this, we're never going to have a time when the animals run out of food or water. How much water do the sheep have? That's nearly empty. I think before we finish, we need to just give the sheep a bit more water. I think they'll take most of this water trailer, if not all of it. So we'll hook this up. Get that done there. We have a water tank just the other side of our yard. So we can get that filled from there. So back this up. Now here's where I'm hoping this isn't going to cost money to refill the water. I know we got 4,500 litres anyway, actually. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go and give them the water because it looks like they won't take that much anyway. There's only 2,000 litres out of this. That's not a wide enough turn. So that is nice wide opening gate. Gives us easy access. And then we can unload that there. And yeah, as I said, I think that'll only take about 2,000 litres. I'm going to close this gate because we're going to go out the one at the other end of the field. And no, they've taken all of it, but that's okay. I'm quite happy to leave it like that. That'll keep them going for a while. And I'm very pleased I caught that. That could have been a little bit disastrous. We need the sheep to keep producing wool and lambs so that we can make money off them before we finish on here. There we are. Right. And yeah, if we get everything done before winter comes, we might actually just skip through the winter months and go to spring. The only reason to do stuff in winter would be maybe just to sell a couple of bits off. We're going to have to sell some crops over winter, so we'll probably do the winter crop sell and then jump forward a bit, because otherwise we're not going to have a huge amount to do around here during the winter, I don't think. I think that's us done for the day though, so we'll put the tractor back in the shed here, everything away, and wow, to be finished by just before 3 in the afternoon, that's pretty good. We're going to be doing some mowing next time and trying out the reverse driving function on this tractor. So I was quite surprised to find this function on this tractor last time. We kind of sort of stumbled on it while we were having a play around. We've got the reverse drive, so this should give us a little bit more maneuverability with this tractor. If we come out here, I should be able to unfold everything. So that will unfold the mowers at the rear. This should unfold the mowers at the front. I want to check that we are still doing the swath dropping. So yeah, we've still got that running. So let's turn the front on. Well, let's turn the back on. No, lift it up. Turn the front on. Oh, this has suddenly got very confusing. And our front isn't running. And we're sitting, of course, in the mud. There we are. Right, this should get it running. There we go. Now, I think, considering how the rest of this is running... Oh, wow. Have I got stuck in the mud already? Let's turn it off. Fold it up. If it will fold. Yeah, there we go. And then turn that off, fold that up. Unfold this in the mud. And it's not happy about it. There we go. Let's get it out. There we are. So now unfold again. And unfold the front. Turn that on. Now what worries me is if I do the Control V setup on here. Oh no, it does drop the front one down first. Brilliant. So yeah, much more maneuverable and a little bit odd to see the tractor going backwards like this, but we have really good visibility of all of our mowers and everything, and should be able to have a much better cut of this field. Looks like our yield isn't quite where it was with previous cuts, so we might be taking a hit on that because we haven't fully done all of the precision farming stuff yet. But in general, this seems to be off to a fairly good start this morning. While it is more maneuverable, the swaths in the corners aren't quite so neat. You had to take a really, really small turn. Otherwise, you get sort of these separated swaths as you come round. You can see them in the corner there. Ideally, what you really want to do is to be lifting up at the end like this, and then going and turning and coming back the other way. The mud here does make things really difficult in places, but we're out of it, I think, or we will be in a moment. We'll drop that down there and hope we get out of the mud by the time. Whoa. Sometimes the steering's a little bit interesting with this mode as well. You end up steering the wrong way because you're not used to it, and and we're in reverse gears as well. So it's a little bit odd. I do it with combines as well sometimes. I just steer in the wrong direction. Because I think for some reason it's an opposite steering lock you need, and it's very, very odd. But this does work if you lift it in the corners and turn and then go straight. The extra maneuverability is really useful, and I'm getting used to it. It's a little bit odd to be looking like I'm driving the tractor backwards, but the maneuverability is definitely worth it, although the reverse gears is a little bit strange. Last time I cut this field, we did it up and down the slope. This time, I'm going to try and go across the slope. So we're going to come up to the end of here, finish off this headland, and then we're going to go and cut down the middle of the field, I think. Try and square things up a little bit and just go round that. So we come over here, gonna square up across here, I think, and just cut straight across. There is no best line. The bottom of the field and the top of the field sort of converge a little bit. So I am just gonna go across here at 145 degrees, I think. That will do. We'll pick a direction, we'll pick an angle like that, and away we go. And hopefully that will work out fairly well for us. I think that's actually more in line with the bottom of the field than it is with the top. I don't plan to just cut this field today. I think we want to try and do the edge of the sheep paddock as well, get that all cut, And also there's a little field that's sort of unnumbered, the other side of the sheep paddock that we initially bought on the farm here. I want to cut that as well, because doing all of that means that those will be treated as fields going forwards. We'll be able to get all of that scanned and get our environmental score up overall, and as a result that is just going to bring more money in for the farm overall. Plus it's extra silage, so we'll be able to get a few more silage bales out today and get a little bit of extra cash in that way. It all helps to build the farm up a bit more and give us that extra little bit of money as we work towards trying to pay as much of our loan off as possible. We are currently nearly £13,000 in debt, so yeah, we need our crop sell-off that's coming in the near future, and we need the silage bales from here, which has always been a big source of income from the farm. So this is going to be important as to exactly how much we can cut, and also of course getting this cut in before winter comes along is massively important as well. Otherwise we just won't have the money coming in that we're going to need. I think we might actually get this field finished by 10:30. I was hoping 10 o'clock, but that's not looking to be the case at the moment. It's already 10 to 10 and we've got 3 or 4 strips to go. We have a lower yield on here than we had before, which was kind of expected to happen, so I'm not too surprised by that. Let's keep this out of tree line, and yeah, then we'll be able to go on to the other 2 fields that we've got to do after this and get them cut as well. Down with the front mower, down with the rear ones, and away we go. How much extra viewing do we have? And I can't actually lean forwards, so yeah, don't know how much extra viewing we actually have here. I don't think it's that much, not as much as we would have had on a Vultra with this function. This is all about the maneuverability, I think, rather than the extra visibility. Although I can definitely see more of the rear mowers from this. The 145-degree angle we took this at actually is fairly good for the bottom of the field. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Also, it's only just gone 3 minutes past 10 and we've got this field finished. That is absolutely great news. I did not expect that we would be able to get this done that quickly. Really, really good. We are going to be able to move on and get the sheep fields done fairly quickly. I need to get through this very large patch of mud over here. I am definitely buying a pressure washer as soon as we have the funds to do so, because this tractor and this mower is just absolutely caked right now. Doesn't help that that field there has just such the biggest patch of mud at either entrance as to just make it horrendous. Right, so there's a section in the middle of this field here that is where our sheep have been grazing, I think, which is what this bit is here, but there's a whole load around the edge that isn't. So we'll take the mower round, we'll cut that as best we can. Whoa. Oh. This turning circle on this catches me out because it's such a more maneuverable turning circle. It just causes me all sorts of issues. Now, I'm hoping the sheep are going to get out of my way so I can do this cut. Close that. We'll reverse this up. They seem to be coming closer. I think we'll go... I was going to go solely the rear mower. I think we're at the front mower. And I think that's probably the right choice. Let's unfold that. It's sitting on the rear hitch. turn it on, put ourselves into reverse, and then we'll go round the field a couple of times with this. Then when we get to the feeding trough here, at this point I can unfold this. Again, hopefully avoiding the sheep. And we might be a little bit crude around the edges here, but there's not much I can do about that. Looking at this, I think it probably actually makes more sense to cut the entire sheep field. It's gonna be then defined fully as a precision farming setup for the whole way, and I think it's gonna work out much better for me in the long run. It's fiddly, and I'm not expecting to cut it that much, and we're definitely not gonna roll this field. I have no need to roll this, I don't think, if we're not trying to get that many cuts out of it. We'll try and lower this down. Oh, lower it. There we go. And then through here. I think this will squeeze through here. Please let it squeeze through here. It would if I'd got myself straight onto it. Right, let's try that again. Been out slightly. Yeah, there we are. Straight through there. We'll go and do this edge. And then we'll go through and do the whole field. And I'm sure the sheep will get out of the way when I'm doing the whole field. And then we've just got the little strip left to do down the far end. That's just this weird little field that you can buy on here. That is it's just a little grass area. Okay, this is interesting. Cutting the grass field is having, or cutting the main part of the sheep field is having no effect. I don't think this grass is grown enough for that. We get a little bit at the end, but otherwise, yeah, that is not working. So lift and fold, lift and fold. We don't need to cut the actual sheep grazing area at all, just the edge of the field. It doesn't actually have any effect otherwise, and it doesn't even mark it as a, well, does it mark it as a field? Let's have a look. No, I don't think it does. I think that just, so we've got field around the edge now, but it's not marked it as a field within the grazing area. So we'll go and cut this little area that we've got down here, and then that will set everything up, and we can start getting everything baled. Wow, this area is tiny. This is going to be like 2 passes, I think. Right. Unfold and unfold. Yeah, for a mower this kind of size, this is just going to be ridiculously quick. Start up the mower. Start up the mower. Down it goes. Like that. And away we go with the cut. Yeah, it's going to be like 2 passes. This tiny little field at the bottom here is going to be done in about 2 passes. Okay, give myself some space. Turn my tractor and try and get this into the corner in such a way that we are able to still get the stuff out of here with the mower. That's the tricky bit, or with the baler. So drop that down and away we go. So if I do this, yeah, we get the weird 2-pronged setup. I think I'll just have to run around with the baler and try and pick things up as best I can. Because at the moment I'm just creating difficult patches for me to get into. I think the best way actually to do this little patch and to do our sheep paddock would be just to go round with the mower on the front and the baler on the back. That would be enough to get all of this done and still be maneuverable. I think that's a much better way to go, rather than getting our very large, very wide mower set up here into here. I mean, that may have been the way to go for everything on here, quite possibly. Just go round with a single quick bale up of everything, and then go from there and pick up and just do everything in 2 passes. I'm happy with how this has gone today, though. We've managed to get all this cut. We're done by midday on that. We just need to get it all baled up and get it taken off the field, so that if we have the time, we can roll the bits that we want to roll. But even the roller, I think, is too big for this that small sheep field one at the end. It's just gonna be horrendous to try and get the massive roller that we have on this farm into that field to roll it. So we'll drop this all back in the shed. Actually, I want to get the mowers themselves in first. So put this in here like this. It's been very, very weird driving the tractor like this. It's both made sense and not made sense at the same time. I'm not gonna be overly worried about switching back the other way, I don't think. But we can get this in here, get this dropped off. We definitely need a pressure washer, because look at the state of my mowers. Oh no, I have folded it up. There we are, and that's off. We can switch back round. And up with the console, round we go. We're still in forward gear, so that's fine. And got very confused. And now we need to grab our baler and get this all racked and baled and see how many bales we get off, and then collect them all up. I'm hoping this is going to be a pretty good day for that. Oh God, trying to get our bale stacker into that small field is going to be a pain as well. I'm not sure there's any good way to do that area. Avoiding as much of the mud as I can. Turn on my baler. No, I have not connected up my PTO. We can have a look at that from the other side. Yeah. We connect that up and start her up. Down with back, and away we go. Yep, time to get some more silage bales done. field. All gone pretty well. I'm very happy with it. I unload that and that'll wrap. And then, yeah, look at that. Good number of bales off here. Not quite as many as last time. We had slightly lower yield on here. The baler's also performed pretty well. It's got a fairly wide pickup on it. So even in the corners where we had those split bits of rows, it's done pretty well and picked everything up. I have got a little bit of cleanup to do around this field, but then we'll go on to the other ones, and it's only 20 to 2. We have a little bit less light today because it is November, and of course it gets dark earlier. But in general, I think we're well on target to get all of this baled up and collected today. So now we'll go around the sheep field and we'll grab some more bales. I think this shouldn't take too long. There's not massive numbers of rows. We've got not a huge amount of grass in here. But it should give us 2-3 extra bales, which will be great. Allow us to get a little bit more money and make up for the slight deficiency we have in our other field. Even though the yield on here was utterly atrocious. And thank you, sheep. And then we'll go from there and see whether we can get everything collected up in here and make a good amount of money. Yeah, 4 o'clock. I reckon we've probably got 2 to 3 hours of daylight left. So there's quite a lot to do in quite a short amount of time. Oh man, this top corner is just a mess. There's so much to unpack up there. I'm not sure that we're going to get a very good collection of that. We're going to have to do a lot of cleanup after we got the main lot up from this, I think. We'll move on to our little field here before I go and clean up the sheep field. There's still a fair amount of grass over there, but not enough to make a bale really. Whereas in here we definitely have several bales worth. We'll just get that first one out, and you can see the difference that this time of year makes. Such a long shadow cast by the trees here now. Round we go. Try and stay out of the hedge. Not wholly successful. This is, yeah, this is really, really fiddly. Well, I've cleared up most of the stuff around the small field. We are very close to another bale. We've got a few bits and pieces we can clear up around here. But in general, I think once this bale is done, we will probably leave it there. There should be enough, off this strip to do that. And then we can leave the few piles of grass and bits around here. We'll just leave them where they are. We'll unload this bale here. And then at 20 to 3, it's time for us to go and collect everything up. So turn that off, fold it up so that we can neatly put the whole thing away. We'll go and open this gate and get out of the field. Oh yeah, I'm dreading getting the stacker into here. In fact, I think because I'm dreading it so much, we'll go and do the sheep field first. Get that all stacked up and collected, and then we can come back and do our main field, which will be a much easier way to round things out. I need to keep a decent number of bales for myself off here. So I'm actually very tempted to stack these up and put these and store them for myself. And then everything that we get from the main field, we will sell that off. That actually, I think, is a really good way to split it. We haven't got anywhere near a full 24 bales off here. So we'll see how many we've got and go from there. But I think maybe 6 or 7 bales off here, and that should be more than enough to keep the cows going for a while, at least until next year's first silage cut. Because yeah, we only have 8 cows. I might see if we can expand our herd in the new year, and I think our herd will expand in the new year anyway. I'm expecting some calves. At the moment, come on, there we go. How many do we have in here? Just the 2. I think we could get 8 bales off here then. There's 2 here and 2 there. I don't think there's a 9th bale on here, but 8 bales will be more than enough for our needs for feeding the cows. Yep, just the 8 bales. So we'll stack these up, and that will give us 8 full loads on our mixing wagon, which is great. That is more than enough. Right, hold that up. Get this back out this field. And then we can start going and collecting up the others once I've put these into storage. I'm actually going to put these into the silage pit. We've got a fairly big silage pit here. So these will go on there very nicely. And I'm actually... that was more painless than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting much more trouble with this very long bale trailer that we have on here, but it went around those fields without much trouble, really. Silage pit is always a good place to put the bales if you're not actually doing silage in it. Silage bales, fantastic storage point in the silage pit, and that's what it's for. Silage, that is. Let's back this up to here. Unload this, and that then is 8 bales that we can use to feed our cows. Final 2 bales, and this is gonna leave us with 3 bales sitting on this field. What I think we'll do is we'll hold those back for ourselves as well, and that way we've got 1 nice full load of bales down at the BGA ready to be sold. And we've got 10 bales up here that we can feed to the cows. So we'll drop off this pile of bales down here. Should go in fairly easily. And then once they're fermented, we can sell them off and make a load of cash. I think we're probably going to be doing a sell-off around January. We won't have much to do on the farm in December. So best bet, I think, is to skip December. We'll come back and do a sell-off in January. Looking at our 2 crops, our linseed, our January, our field beans aren't till July. Oh, I didn't realize they are so late. That might be a bit of a problem for us, especially going into the 2nd year. We may have to switch crops. As much as I'd love to keep doing the field beans, and as nicely as they pay, that's a very late point to sell them off, especially if we're going to be trying to get all of our money in time to pay things off at the end of next year. So yeah, I think we'll probably switch crops to one that has a good payday in about January for next year, so that we can finish off with a sell-off. Let's get this back to the farm, pick up those last 3 bales though, and it's coming up to 4 o'clock. We might have just enough time to roll that field, maybe. Grab these 3 bales, and at this time in the evening, you know what? I am not worried about rolling this field. I think it would be a bigger issue if we were doing it earlier in the year, but with winter coming, this will be absolutely fine until the spring now. And I think it will grow back fairly quickly come springtime. I just want to get these 3 bales off this field, and then I think with this winter, with winter fast approaching and rain on the way, we're probably in a very good position for this time of year. And you can see it's getting much darker. We won't have a lot of time to do that. So let's back this up, get these dropped off into here. I'll try and drop them off in front, and then we'll use the skid steer to just move this front bale back later, or the top front bale back later. Wait, and not perfectly aligned, but that'll do. So we've got just over 35,500 litres of linseed. We have 12,600 litres per trailer. So it's going to take us a few trips to get this sold. I need to get this sold fairly quickly, though, because the price of the linseed is currently dropping from its high. So it has hit £807 per 1,000 litres. We are now down to 788 per 1,000 litres. So yeah, although we've hit the high, it's dropping, and it possibly went and peaked in December, unfortunately. So we are going to go down to town stores, I think that said. Let's just double check that. Yeah, let's tag that and have a look at where that is on the map. It's right down the bottom here. So it's going to take us a little bit of time to go all the way down the main road here and find the way into the town stores at the back. I'm guessing there's a road down the back here. So let's head down there. We will get this linseed sold. It's not quite going to be the price I was hoping for, but it should still be fairly decent. I think the linseed is going to get rid of the current debt that we're in. So we're 28,000 in debt, and then the silage bales, I think, is going to be what we end up making. You can see our destination in the distance over there. The sun's coming up fairly quickly, but it is fairly late in the morning, so that isn't that surprising. I don't think we're going to have a very long day today. It's going to be dark around 4:30, 5 o'clock anyway. So can we find our actual sell point in amongst the back of all these houses? Sunrise here on Court Farms is really, really pretty. I love the lighting on this map. It works very, very well. Right, it's around the back here somewhere. Can we see it? Yeah, there must be an entrance up the end here, I think. Now, these are the houses in here. There's a roadway there. Okay, I think where we want to turn in is this driveway here. Town stores, there we go. That is absolutely perfect. We can get round and into here and get this sold. Oh, it looks like it might not be open yet, though. Do we open this gate 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.? No, it should be open. Yeah, there we go. Through the gates and around to the side. So yeah, that is the other thing. You can't sell very early. So if you have a best price at like midnight, you can't sell at midnight. You've got to wait till the following morning and hope the price holds. Hit this up and see how much our first 12,000 litres gets us. It's gonna be about £10,000, I think. And yeah, just 9,914 plus 264. So yeah, just under £10,000. That's a little bit of a blow. I was hoping to get more than that, but not to be. So 2 more trips to do. I've always thought there's a sweet spot with Farm Sim. When you're doing a start from scratch, you kind of want to get yourself to the 3 to 4 arable field mark with maybe a grass field or 2 for some extra money from silage. I think once you got to sort of 3 to 4 fields, you're able to produce a variety of crops and get a decent income in from them. We've got another 22,000 litres, so we'll grab those. And that is when you start making a decent amount of money. What we have here at the moment is we've got 2 fields that are producing, and we're really being kept afloat or being able to expand thanks to the silage rather than the fields. I think if we can get a 3rd arable field, we will be in a very good place. My trouble is, I don't think we can raise the 140, 150,000 we need to actually get that field without, of course, actually borrowing money. There's a second entrance to the town stores. It's between the houses up here somewhere, and it's not until after the next turning, actually. But it's, yeah, it was sort of nestled and not well signposted. I think it's so that tractors and lorries can come in and out without getting stuck on a single track road together. But it's somewhere nestled between these houses here. I think it's between the last house and, yeah, in here. This little side road here. This is also an entranceway into, well, it has an entranceway into the town stores. It's a driveway really for that house there, but you can sneak through there and that'll take you into town stores as well. So not too bad. A good little route in. I think the price has been dropping steadily all day, so I'm not expecting us to make a huge amount of this. We will just take a look at the cost before we go any further. Yeah, it's dropped another £4 per 1,000 litres. So we need to get this sold now. We know we're going to make about 8,000 from the last 10,000 litres. If it goes below 8,000, which it will, we know that this is going to clear off our debt. Fantastic. Right. Let's head back up to the main farm and refill for one final time. So there should be about 10,000 litres left in our store. Pull this under and refill. Yeah, 10,309 litres. I think this is going to give us just over £8,000. That should result in us being a little bit into the positive before we start trying to go and sell these silage bales. So in with our last load. Is this going to get us back into the black? I think so. I think we should be in a place where this sorts us out. And there we go, back into the black with £449 in the black. That is probably not as far as I'd liked. So now we need to get back up to the farm. I need to go and head down to the BGA. We'll sell off those silage bales and see how much we can get ourselves nicely into the black. I'm very, very cautious about going and spending it early. Might try and buy one of our existing leased pieces of equipment though and get the monthly cost down on that. Alternatively, we might try and get our loan back under 300,000. But first, I need to find out exactly how much we're going to make off the silage bales, so we'll head down there. I've got a full trailer load of silage bales down here. They are all almost fermented, so we're going to have to wait a little while longer before these are ready. So let's have a quick look and see what we've got leased. We have a mountain of stuff leased. I can't believe actually how much we have leased in here. And this is what is costing us so much every month. The farm spends a whopping £5,000. Yeah, between 5 and 10 grand a month on leasing. So I skipped through December, and you can see what our base lease cost is every month. It's 5,403 every month. Our loan interest, conversely, is only 1,250. So ideally, I want to get this leasing cost down. This 5,403 base that we spend on leasing. We need to sort that. So that gives us an interesting sort of predicament as far as these goes. Our mowers to purchase would be 58,000 and and 10,000. So those are fairly expensive. The bale loader to purchase that would be 40,000. The animal mixer to purchase that would be 8,000. Yeah, you see, this is the thing. We've got a lot of smaller items. The animal transport, this I think we can return. It's probably costing us. It's a pity here it doesn't tell us how much that costs a month. But I'm going to return that because we are not using that very often. And yeah, that can go back. I think we've got the weeder. We picked up the weeder and we haven't weeded. That is, oh no. Purchase that would be 45,000. I have not weeded, and I'm going to return that because the idea was that we were going to weed, but I have not weeded this year. We're supposed to do it last month. I skipped through last month. The weeds are going to be too high to deal with that now. So that's not good. What else have we got? We've got rollers. We've got mulchers. The mulcher we can return as well. That's 19,000. So we'll return that too. Yes. And yeah, it's... Oh. Have we finished? I was going to fertilize a spread with this. But I'm going to return this because it's a 43,000. If I'm going to have to get a sprayer to deal with the weeds, we'll return this. Stop that costing us each month as well, and that will be sorted. I think otherwise we're fairly good. Our seeder we still need. The rollers, yeah, we're going to need those. We need all the grassland care stuff that pays for itself. Yeah. Oh, I know what we can go and do. I bet that we have a fair amount of milk at this point. In fact, we do. We've got 9,000 litres. So while we're waiting for these to finish fermenting so that we can sell them, let's head back to the farm and go sell some milk. Now, I was talking a moment ago about the fact that we're going to have to get a sprayer to deal with the weeds. I think our crop's going to be fairly well grown by that point. So this tractor here... Does this have care wheels available to it? Wide, lots of wide tires. No, those are the BKTs. I don't think this tractor has care wheels. It's all very, very big stuff. Lots of wide, yeah. So no care wheels on this. We're gonna need a tractor to go spraying with as well. Ah, that's not good. That's not good at all. I'm a little bit concerned about that because we know we have a limited amount of funds to deal with things like this. And we're just not going to be able to do that. Let's grab the water trailer. I don't think there's any water in it. If there is, I will try and give it to the sheep. Right, I back this up. Yeah, this is where having a truck would come in quite useful. Nope, this has nothing in it. Fantastic. Let's take this in and load this up with milk. This was completely unexpected. I didn't think that the silage bales weren't going to be ready yet. So I am a little bit surprised by that. But we should be able to get this in here and load up the trailer with the milk. And this is why this trailer is a useful one to have around. I think this holds 6,000 litres. So this is going to take a couple of goes. Oh, come on. Doing circle on this tractor isn't quite what I'd like it to be. But there we go. It's not as bad as, say, the county was that we had on Attingham. Full with milk, 6,000 litres. We can go and sell this. In fact, there's a exit out the other side. Although the mud on the other side of this field is so much worse. Let's close that gate. And then we'll find out where the best place to sell the milk is. The answer to that is, once again, town stores. So we are back down here near the bottom of the map. We're gonna take this round to the back, I think. I don't think it's the same point as the grain is delivered. I think it's the one a little bit further round. So over here, oh, that actually might be the bale sell point. We'll have a look. It might be bale and milk. Nope, it is just bale. So we'll bring this over to here and see if this does it instead. Yeah, there we go. Milk. Unload that. And send us further into the black. I think it's fairly good price at the moment. It's 1,393, which is a better price than the max price, which is normally in October. So, yeah, I'll take that. I will absolutely take that. Let's try coming into this field from the other direction this time. I think it's there's a lot of mud down this side. Well, one of the things I really want to do, actually, is get a pressure washer. Because we get stuck in all this mud like this. And we need to wash the tractor off afterwards. Oh, wow. Properly stuck in the mud. Right, let's drop down a range. Yeah, I should not have come in this way. Gonna have to drop the trailer off. I think the trailer's grounding out. Let's try. Yeah. Oh, we can go backwards. Yeah. Doesn't like trying to get that trailer through that mud. Doesn't like trying to get the tractor through that mud. I knew I was wrong to try and use this corner. Okay, I've got one wheel on solid ground, and it looks like it's enough to pull us through. Plus, I've shoved myself in a really low gear. Oh, that was not fun. Yeah, this mud here, that is so deep going into that field there. I almost got the combine stuck in it the other day. So, yeah, want to try and avoid that, I think, as much as possible. Bring this into here and refill with milk. Should only have about 3,000 litres, yes. And then I'm at an awkward angle to try and get out of this gateway now. Open that up. Oh, I was hoping not to hit the tractor, but we're through now. Oh, we're almost through. Yeah, this is an awkward angle to try and get this through now. And sends me back into the mud here as well. Not the easiest thing to deal with, that bit there. But this is definitely the better gateway to come into to refill the milk, I think. I've been trying to think of more ways I can save myself some cash. And I keep coming back to the wheel loader that we've got down at the BGA. It is not necessary. The more I think about it, we have our little skid steer, which we tend to keep around the yard. It would be much cheaper, though, to get a trailer that will go on the back of this tractor, put the skid steer on that trailer, and take that down there rather than have that wheel loader sitting there all the time. So depending on whether that wheel loader is near an hour and whether that's going to cost us money today, what I think we might do is return that either after we've sold the silage bales or before, if it looks like it's going to cost us more money, and then get ourselves a trailer that the skid steer can go on, and we can just go and take that down there the 3-4 times a year when we actually need something down there. So this is the little wheel loader I was talking about. How many hours does it have on it? It has, okay, it only has half an hour on it. So that will do us fine for today. How fermented are these bales now? 98%. Oh yeah, we are almost ready. In fact, silage, 98%, 99, 99, 97, 98. All of the ones at the far end, silage. 99, yeah, silage. And we'll check these ones as well. So 97. So not all of these are quite silage bales yet. I think we want to give them a few more minutes. So in the meantime, I'm going to go tractor shopping quickly, because we do need to get a little tractor on the farm that we are able to spray with. Oh, a little riggy tractor, a little electric tractor on the farm would be something. Do these come with... no. These don't do... So yeah, this would be no good because it doesn't do care wheels. We need something that does care wheels. There's this little Massey Ferguson 3700 AL. Does that do narrows? Yeah, that does narrows. It is only 75 horsepower, but we could shove a sprayer on the back of that and use that. I think it does have, yeah, we can put the Isaria stuff on it, which is an extra 15 grand. Ow. Alternatively, if we want to stick with doing Fent on the farm, there's a few little Fent options. There's a couple of cheap Deutz options. The Agrostar 6.61, which has 143 horsepower, is only 28,000. But I think probably something along the lines of this little Fent Farmer at 44,000. That's not bad at all. That would give us... Does that come with the Isaria? Yeah, that has the Isaria stuff on it. 92 horsepower, great little tractor. And that, again, we can put the narrows on it. So that would work really well. 59,000 to get that in the setup that I would like it. Wow, that little one is expensive. The 500 favorite there, 500C, for 56,000, 58,000. We're still looking at sort of 70 odd thousand for that. I think what I'm going to have to hope, other than getting actually one of these. Oh, now here's an option. A Massey Ferguson 675. Only 68 horsepower, so if we threw this up to 90 horsepower with the 690, that's 32,000. We can put the narrow tires on it, and we can add the Isaria functionality on it. 47,000 for that little Massey. That would actually work really well for us. But it just means that we've got options, and yeah. This is all just about ready to go. I think 5 more minutes and we'll be good. Okay, the last of our bales has fermented. It's 20 to 2. Oh no, 10 to 2 in the afternoon. And just gonna load them up, get them in here, and we'll see how much we make at the end of this. I think then I want to look at, again, what we're leasing. And what we have, and I think certainly this piece of kit is not a piece of kit we need to have hanging around. Much better to get our skid steer down here doing this job. And even if not, I think we could just lease something like this every few months to load these in here, because this is not necessary. 625 per bale at the end of this. That's not bad. The price has been steadily sort of rising as we've been unloading these. 11,000 liters a stack. That's pretty good. I'm very, very happy. At 54,000 so far. So we're going to hit about 60,000 today. That's excellent. Now it's just a case, really, of getting a tractor that will allow us to do the spraying and leasing the sprayer as well. However, I think we're done with this piece of kit. I'm going to go and take this back to the shop. We'll return all of this. Well, let's not spike a car while we're crossing the road. And then we will look at getting a trailer to transport our other bit of kit down here. Because I think that will probably cost as much for that as this costs per leasing per day, pretty much. So bring it back to here. In fact, I think if we drive it onto the ramps, stop it here, and go here, we can return it. Yep. Okay. And that way I make sure I'm returning the right bale spike as well. So let's compare things. How much would a trailer be? The miscellaneous, maybe, yeah. So there's the Brockman there. I don't think I've got anything else. So this Brockman, this would be 8,000 with, yeah, standard wheel setup. To lease the Torion that we just had, just sort of, yeah, I'll have put the Michelin on it. Let's lease that. 8,289. So per day, yeah, we easily spend the price of that trailer over a year on here. So what I'm going to do is just look up the number plate on my tractor, which is VF01 Dan. We will then go and grab that on here. So VF01 Dan. Perfect. And okay. Standard wheel setup. And we will... £80 a day to lease this. I'm going to lease this. That is such a cheaper way to do things. That actually wasn't the smartest way to have done this. We don't need this trailer immediately. We only need this trailer once we're looking to sell silage bales again. However, the thing that worries me is running out of money before that happens. So I don't mind spending the £80 a day. It's not ideal spending it now, but I think we're in a better position because of doing that. Certainly a much more cost-effective way of doing things than having that wheel loader sitting down there all the time. Much better for us to just transport our own piece of kit down there and do that. It is becoming more useful, though, for me, I think, to maybe get hold of a car or a truck or something like that. So I think I'm going to look into that soon. What I'm really hoping is that in the used sales, we get maybe a little tractor and or a truck. And that way, it would make our lives so much simpler. With the addition of this little trailer to the farm, I'm actually finding myself wondering if we need that bale trailer anymore. We're not transporting any bales anywhere with it. If we need to transport any pallets or anything, we can just use this Brockman trailer. I think this actually isn't of any use to me anymore. So let's pop into here. Is that leased or bought? Bale loaders. Oh, I think that trailer might be purchased. Yeah, it is. We can make a little bit of money off that. I think that can go down to the shop. And we'll just have this this leased Brockman instead. That we can then just transport stuff about with. And yeah, makes this Brockman a much more useful piece of kit that way. And that big bale trailer is not of massive use to us. So let's put this here. Lower it. Okay. I did raise it up, wondering if it would actually raise it a little bit, but it didn't. Right, so that off there. And yeah, let's hook this bale trailer up and get rid of it. I don't think it's of any use to us anymore. And then I might put the combine in this shed. I think that might be a better storage place for that. Certainly will be a little bit less fiddly for us to get everything in and out. Getting this bale trailer into the sale point is gonna be a pain. I think what I'm gonna have to do is drive this tractor right up into the ramps. And then I hope that the trailer gets into the sell area as a result. So up here, stop there. Yeah, there we go. We are going to both repair and repaint this because it will increase the value. So repair takes it up to 5,700. Repaint takes it up to, right. It will go up to the cost of doing this. 2,000, so that's 7,000, nearly 8,000 pounds. So we need more than 8,000 pound after this repaint. 8,070, so not massively worth it. A few extra pounds. Let's sell that though. Yes, and takes us up to 64,000 in total. I'm happy with that. Hopefully we're going to be able to get hold of some new equipment in the next couple of weeks, and that will get us moving again. We want to get a nice early cut of grass in February, March if we can, depending on how quickly the grass grows up. And we're going to need something to spray off the weeds. I think we're probably going to go forward to March. Not a lot we can do in February on the farm, and we will go from there next time. So I'm kicking myself a little bit because we returned the mulcher over the winter. I think we returned it in December. So yeah, last episode we returned the mulcher, and it's needed. We still have field 6 to go. I don't think the shop opens, unfortunately, until 8:30 a.m. though. Yeah, let's just hop the fence, and we'll pop in there, I think, and we can order ourselves the mulcher we need. And I want to get in here quickly because I noticed there's a Robert mulcher available for 8,895, 47% off. It's only got 9 hours on it. It is looking a little bit worse for wear, but I'm quite liking it. I think this will be a great little mulcher to have on the farm. There's a signaling kit we can get on it, but we're not really planning on taking it on the road much. So I think we'll go with that. So let's buy that. There is also a Kubota M6 for 51,000 on here. Unfortunately, that's a little bit out of our price range. And to put on the Isaria stuff, which I'd need for it, because it's a spraying tractor I want it for, takes it up to 71,000. So, yeah, it's still a little bit out, and we've got a few days yet. We just need the gates to open at the shop. And at 9 o'clock, there we go. Gates are open. So pop back out here, grab our tractor. And now that we have our mulcher in here, we can get it picked up. It's a little bit annoying that, but yeah, 9 o'clock. I need to remember, if I'm buying something right at the beginning of the day, it's going to be 9 o'clock I have to wait at the shop to open it. We might as well back it into the workshop while we're here, get it repaired up. Our tractor is really in need of some repairs as well, so just put this up on the ramp a bit and come over here. So yeah, condition of our tractor is halfway. Condition of the mulcher actually isn't bad, so we'll repair our tractor while we got some cash. We'll repair the mulcher as well. That's only 134. and then we can get this all back onto the road, get back up to our farm, and get this field mulched. We still have the field beans to sell, of course, so we've got a little bit of money that's coming later on. Well, we're going to get about 30,000 off them, I think I saw, which is not bad at all. But it isn't going to come to us till June, so we won't be able to actually use that money till then. As a result, I very much am thinking that we want to get a different crop in here, and the best crop for me to get into this field, I think, would be to put some oats in. I think oats would be a great crop to do on here. They pay well. We can get some straw out of them as well, and yeah, it should be a crop that we can sell at sort of winter time as well, which is when I want to get everything on here sold. So I think we're looking at oats. We might get this turned around today. I don't know how likely that is. We've got a lot of work to get this field done, and as I said, I really want to get the fields rolled for the grass so that we can get a cut of grass in as soon as possible this year. This mulcher, I think, is about as wide as the previous one we were using, but it runs a little bit slower. We're only running sort of 6-7 miles an hour going around this headland. It's decent, and for 8,000, I really can't complain about it. It's doing a great mulching job. It does seem to be a little bit rear heavy. The back wheels slide from time to time, and you can see it doing it there, and it's causing me a little bit of issue keeping it straight in places. In general, it's not too bad. I'm able to get around the field without too much difficulty. It's just one of those things I need to watch for. Every so often the tractor just wants to squirrel away from me. You can see at times the wheel slipping as it's trying to sort of work with this. You can see they spin a lot faster at times, and that's when the rear of it, the skids, are sort of moving the tractor, and it's having trouble actually getting grip on the rear tires, and that's when it's getting squirrely. That's when it's causing me issues, and I'm finding the tractor wants to move about a bit. Like I've done previously, I'm going to treat this top section of the field a little bit differently. We will fill this in now and finish this off, and then we can get into the main body of the field after that. This is throwing up so much lime. The tractor is absolutely caked in it. So yeah, I think we're going to need to buy that pressure washer I've been talking about for so long today, just so that we can get all the lime off this tractor and clean it up. It's an odd-shaped field, this. Having to do this little section here separately, just because otherwise I'd be doing huge amounts of maneuvering and very little actual field work. If I did it differently, is very strange. But it does seem to work on here every time so far. That's this little section of the field done. So now we'll head down to the bottom of the field and work our way back up. We're slowly moving up the field. I'm really hoping to have this job done by midday. There's only an hour and 10 minutes left before that happens. I'm slightly worried that we're not going to get everything done today I'd like to do. I would really like to get this field seeded. We do need to go buy more seeds and fertilizer, though, if we're going to do that. So it's quite a tall order for that. Getting the grass rolled, that is a massive thing we need to do, though. Very, very important, that job. Oh, yeah. The need for a second tractor is becoming more and more apparent at the moment. We would easily get through this. Either a second tractor or a second day. It being springtime, of course, we have some calves. We have our first calves on the farm. We also have our second set of lambs. And we got to the point now, I think, where we probably want to sell off the set of cows we got last year. They are up to 1,500, but at 32 months, so their price is going to start dropping soon. They have had 8 calves, so we've got calves here who are working their way through puberty. Now, if I sell the 8 dairy cows we've got, and we use that money to buy some cows that are some younger dairy cows that are ready to produce milk, I think that will be the best way for us to go. We'll make the most out of our cows then, and we'll easily be able to replace with cows that are younger and will work their way up to be worth that again. Plus, they'll produce more calves too, and we can keep going round in that, building the dairy herd up, which is great news. I mean, that's especially if you're on a map long term, that's a really great way to do it. Get a load of cows, get them to produce calves, then almost immediately sell them off, and you'll end up with a set of calves, plus you'll be able to work another set of cows up to being worth enough to do the same thing again. 140 seems to be a pretty good angle to work this field. It's still working across the slope, although it is a little bit down the slope as well. But it fits in for doing that corner quite nicely, and also allows us to finish off without having to go round bits and pieces. Yeah, I like doing it at this angle. It works well for us. Almost there, and I'm kind of looking at this going, I think it would be pretty good to take a line across from that corner there, and have the top section of this field where it's a little bit weird just come across here like that. It would mean that we're a little bit less fiddly in this last couple of bits. Looks like this is how that's how it's kind of been handled before. That didn't go down, so reverse up a little bit and do it again. There we go. But otherwise, yeah, no complaints at all. This has worked pretty well for us here, and we'll be able to go and get the grass fields rolled now. It is nearly 20 past 12, so a little bit later than I would have liked, but not so horrendously out that it's going to cause us a lot of problems. Turn that off, fold it up like that, and we'll go put this back in the shed. And now I need to address a little bit of an oddity. I'd fully expected these grass fields to grow a stage over winter. We cut them in November, and we didn't roll them because we thought, oh, they'll sort themselves out. However, that's not been the case. Having a look on the map, you can see here that this is still all marked as harvested. So we need to get the rollers out. We need to get these rolled, and then they'll go forward a stage today. Hopefully then by by next time maybe, or by May at the latest, we'll be able to cut these again. And that means we will have the opportunity to get 4 cuts done this year if we're lucky. Right around the field should give us adequate space to turn in our our work on the main body of the field. So we'll spin this round here. Not got 2 headlands done on this bit, and you can see why I wanted to do 2 headlands. There's not quite enough space to turn around in one. I'll have to go back and get that that little triangle that's been missed there. All in all, though, there should be enough space to turn around at the ends now, which will work to our advantage as we work our way through the rest of this field. Even with 2 headlands done at either end, it's still a very tight turn. I have to turn out slightly first, then quickly round, And then that gives me enough space to bring it right round, line my wheels up there, come back out, and it means that I don't miss anything. It's quite a maneuver. It is working, but it's not quite as easy as I'd hoped that would make it. Both these jobs today have been sort of trundling along at 7 miles an hour. Not too bad a speed, but it is taking its time. We are up to 10-2 and just over halfway through this field. As I said, we do have the edges of the sheep field to do, and we also have that little field the other side of the sheep. I don't know if we really need to do either of those. Neither of them produced a huge amount of bales, and it was kind of more to get our precision farming, our environmental score up a bit, because yeah, we need to try and raise that a bit. It's not in the negatives, which is good, but we do have room for improvement. Into the last section of the field, we've got a fairly big triangle that we're working through now, just to finish things off. And yeah, not taking us too long. We've taken another 25 minutes really to get through the rest of this field. I think we're going to end up having another 40 minutes in total. So I reckon we might finish this by 2:30. And then we just need to get around the sheep field and that little bit. I was considering not doing it, as I said earlier, but to be honest, we might as well get it all rolled while we're at it. Been around for the last little bit, and then this will be finished off. Oh, look at that. That makes me happy. I didn't think we were going to be able to roll these. I didn't think we were going to be able to make the difference. And the fact that we have been able to roll these and make that difference is brilliant. Right, let's fold these up so that we can get them over to the sheep field. Meanwhile, I want to see what it is in here. Oh, it's linseed. Linseed's been planted in this field. And how much is field 59/136? It is 121,000. That's not bad. I do want to buy that field, and if I can buy that field this year as part of the seeding, as part of this year's crop, then we'll be able to actually justify buying it. I'm not sure how good it is otherwise, but yeah, it'd be a good field to have and would get me up to the 3 fields that I would like to be on for this map. Going around the edge of the sheep field here with this shouldn't take me very long. It's about as wide as the roller is. We can have a little bit of trouble, I think, getting down the sides of the feeding area. I think we'll be otherwise okay. Right, that is out. Let's put that down and roll this. I only want to do this in one path, so I don't think we're going to get all of it. It's not something I'm overly worried about. Lots and lots of grass around here. Interesting, this top corner is all marked now as being grass field, but it all seems to be a little bit just a little bit odd. It's grown well already, although it's not marked as ready to harvest. So yeah, I think there's a bit of scruff grass in amongst this too. Bring it round. It'd be nice if the sheep grazing on it did have an effect, but I don't think they do. Gonna run over the sheep's grass a little bit, and that has no effect on that whatsoever. Wow. I don't know if I expected it to or not, but yeah, it definitely doesn't. And yeah, this is where it gets fiddly because we have to work our way around all of this feeding troughs and bits like that. Will that fit through there? Yes, it will. Just. And then we can get this triangular bit here done. In fact, yeah, we had to do 2 passes around this side of the field. And probably 2 passes down the bottom as well. And then we also need to get this little field down the bottom here done too. I wonder actually if I could get a little bit on a slope. I wonder if we could get chickens down here. I think this would be the perfect area to put chickens. It's out the way. We could easily put a few pens in here that might then get us a few eggs off here. I don't know. The trouble is money is tight to the point where I don't know if I can invest in chickens at this point. Let me know what you guys think in the comments though. I'm just not so sure about it. Wow, the outer edge of this field is actually going to require a 3rd pass. That surprises me. There we go. That's all of the areas around the sheep field done. There's a little bit here I think that I could possibly do. But all in all, that means that we're going to be in a good position in the near future. Going to be able to get all of this stuff. Sheep are getting in the way now. All of this grass cut again, and there's more grass around this edge of the sheep field than I realized. I probably won't muck around up at the feeding troughs again, but I certainly will cut the edges around this, and we'll be good. Right, let's lift this up, and then we can fold it away, and jobs are good. And we are done with the rolling. So we'll put this back in the shed, and then I've got one last thing I want to look at, and that is can we make some money from our animals? We've got some 5-month-old lambs that are never really going to produce any wool for us, so we might try giving them a sell. We also have our older cows that I think we can sell as well, so we can do that. The other thing I want to do, and we'll use it next time, I'm not going to use it this time, but we need to buy it, is something I've been talking about buying for ages, pretty much since the start of this series. We need a pressure washer. Where is the best place to put this thing? Oh, here might be. Oh, there, at that angle. Perfect. Yep. That is exactly what I want. Nice and central and easy in the middle of the yard. It's exactly where that should be. Right, let's go and have a look at these cows and see if we can make a little bit more money off them. So if we come into here, we have 8 Holsteins at 32 months, which are worth 1,500. So if we sell all of those, it will cost us £800 to get them picked up and delivered, and we'll make 11,200. That's reasonable. It's going to cost us more than that to hire a animal transport again. To transport 8 of these, so if we go for this to do it in one go, as this is doing, that will cost us £861. Damn. That actually suddenly seems worth getting that and holding on to it. I thought I was saving myself some money. I really wasn't. In fact, to get the cows I want, it isn't really worth it. I might as well keep my 32-month-old cows and let them produce some more calves, because I'm not going to save any money at all. No, it's not worth doing. I don't want the animal transport cost, because it's going to cost me £800 either way, and I don't want to lose that. So that actually is not great. Where's the sheep? Here's the sheep. We have a ton of wool that we need to sell. So we got that. So that's good news. Over here, we've got lambs worth 225 pounds. That would cost me 342. That would only make me 1,460. Yeah, I wouldn't make a huge amount off there. It's not worth selling the animals. I'm just gonna leave them as they are, which is not where I thought I was gonna end up with this. But we just don't have the time left on the farm. That's where I'm gonna leave it for today, though. We will pick up with planting some oats next time and probably trying to get rid of those weeds. We'll see what comes up in the shop. I'm not looking to spend too much money on getting this slurry spread. We should be able to get a slurry spreader fairly cheaply. I think in here, under slurry tanks, we have downloaded one, which is this one down here. We've got the pumps and hoses pack on here, but I'm not going to use that. We're going to use this little Joskin tanker 3500. It's 11,500. Although the slurry tanker add-on takes it up by 600. I'm going to put both left and right hoses on it, and I'm going to go with the blue hose color. And I think that's quite a nice little setup. Now, I could spend, I've got the 12,350 to get this on the farm, but to be honest, I think for now what we're going to do is lease it. It'll only cost us 629 to do that, and we might only be using this today. So yes, we'll get that leased, and that then has it sitting out here next to my tractor. So jump on here. I've not washed my tractor yet because we're going to be doing some slurry spreading and some fairly heavy work with it on fields today. We're not expecting any rain, thankfully, and we should get a nice clear run at this. This will also save us money when it comes to doing the fertilizer spreading a little bit later. Let's open up this. I did find out the shop, although the gate doesn't open automatically until 9 AM, you can get in there and open it manually at a lot earlier. In fact, I think most of the time it's available to be opened like that. So that's pretty good. It's nice to know that you're not going to get trapped in there if you do actually need to get something from the shop. We've got about 24,000 liters of slurry in our slurry tank, so that should be more than enough to do the field that we need to do. Let's bring this here. Don't know if this opens up at all, but yeah, fairly quickly fills up. 3,500 liters is all this holds, though, so that is something we means we're going to have a lot of journeys back and forth. And I'm not sure going through that mud each time is going to be a good way to go, especially with the amount of mud we have at this corner of the field as well. Trying to keep a wheel out of it is always fun. Yeah, look at that, sliding all over the place and causing all sorts of problems. But we are at the other side. It's going to add 60 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare, or per hectare to it. Oh, we need to unfold it, so pull that up and away we go, and we'll see how quickly this empties. It's not too bad a rate, actually. I think we might try and do this weird little section of the field first and then get ourselves into the main part of the field after that. But I think this is going to save us a lot of money. We're going to get about 6 of these trailer fulls off of here. It's getting caught quite a bit on its front wheel, which is making it wheelie on it, which isn't great. That's when it goes through that mud. It tends to get caught on that quite a bit. It is doing what it's supposed to do, though. Getting a good level of slurry onto here, meaning that we're saving a whole load of cost in nitrogen fertilizer. You can see here that these strips are just going to make a massive difference. And I like to use slurry for this kind of thing whenever I can, because it does make a difference. It does mean that we end up spending far less money overall to get everything done. We'll spread this from round here, head up round the corner. I'm keeping an eye on the map for how well my spread is going, but looks like it's going pretty well at the moment. And we've got a couple of rows basically empties this out. So that then gives us 4 loads to do as much of the rest of the field as we can. And even if we can only do about half of the field, that should still be enough to save us a whack of money on the fertilizer. We're coming up to halfway through the slurry that we have to spread. And yeah, that's not going to make it halfway through this field. So I'm just keeping an eye on it in general. If we can fill up this top half of this field and get this done, again, it's going to be a really big help for us as far as keeping the nitrogen cost down on here. The big question is whether this is worth the time for that. We know that we can get a load of fertilizer and seed on here. I don't know if we have enough to do this whole field. We may end up having to reduce the amount of fertilizer we're using on here. But if this gives us that push we need to be able to preserve how much fertilizer we're using, that will be a bonus on its own. I think this field itself is loam, so we're gonna want to get that fertilizer level pretty high to get a good amount of oats off here. That is our 4th load. I don't know how much further this is going to go. It's going to be interesting. That's that area filled in. Shut that off, and we're down to 25%. I don't know how far that will get us through this next bit, but then that will leave us at 2 full loads and a bit to get the rest of this field done. Yeah, that's not going to be enough to do the whole field, but it is a good enough amount to get us started. 5th tank going on, and our very rough application of this gives us a fairly good coverage of the field. I'm checking the mini-map rather than where we're going on the field, because leaving those lines between, if I look on the mini-map, it actually meets up and it's fine. So yeah, we can make this go further doing it this way. We only managed about 2-3 rows there, so I reckon we'll get half of what we have remaining on the field done. But yeah, if that's as far as it gets, that's as far as it gets, and we'll just have to use a little bit more on the bottom end of the field. Refilling with the final load then. Might store this just down the side of here. The fact that it's so cheap to keep it leased it's good. Although we want to make sure we don't end up in the same situation as we did before, where we were ending up spending a huge amount every month on leased equipment that we just weren't using. I've just checked this, and we actually have an entire another tank of slurry to spread on here. So we might get most of this field done. I think we will get a massive chunk of this field done, in fact. That is a turnout for the books. Expecting this to be the last one, and it really isn't going to be. There's just 111 litres left in our slurry tank now. So this will be the last one we run today. Putting an extra 60 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare on here, and away we go. Yeah, I think we'll get 2 more rows. We'll end up with just 1 strip at the bottom of the field that doesn't have any slurry applied to it, and it's nitrogen boosted. That actually is a really good result. And it isn't even that big a strip either. That's fantastic. This has gone a lot further than I expected it to, this slurry. I'm really pleased with that. That is a good result. And we still have 8% left. So I can bring this around to this corner here. And as far up this side as it'll go. I don't think it'll go very far. No. So yeah, that just leaves this strip down here that will require a little bit extra nitrogen application when we seed. All in all though, that's brilliant. So with our slurry applied, I'm going to just place this where I thought would be a good place to put it. And just slot it in between these two here. That way it will be there for when we need it later. We can always do our fields if we want. Back it up a little bit. If we can do it without it turning any further. Yep. Uncouple that then. And we'll go and hook up our seeder. Before I hook this up, just want to check what are our levels in here. So we have 370 liters of seed and 198 liters of solid fertilizer. If we buy a pallet of seeds, that's going to be 1,000 for one, nearly 1,000 for just over 1,000 liters, and then solid fertilizer. 1,400. So about 2,000. Yeah, about 2,500 to get some extra fertilizer and seed. I think I'm actually going to go for that. So before we hook this up here, let's go hook the tractor up to our new flatbed. We'll head down to the shop. We'll fill this up with some seed and some fertilizer, and then bring it back up here. And that way, we will be... Well, that way we won't have to interrupt our seeding to go and grab that stuff. We can just know that we already have it up here. I'm going to come in this side of the shop and just park things up in a way that should allow us to quickly and easily load the trailer up and then drive straight out. Turn around. I want to get the sides of the trailer down. One of these is there we go. That's got the sides of the trailer down. So like that. And then head into the shop and we'll grab some pallets. So first thing I want is a pallet of fertilizer. We'll grab that. Second thing we want is a pallet of seeds. So we'll grab that. And we now have a shop-owned Manitou down here that we can load all this up with. Originally, I didn't feel I needed one on here because we had our loader over at the BGA. Now, I think because we've got the skid steer with this trailer that we're using, we do need something to load up stuff at the shop. So the shop now has its own forklift, just this little Manitou. Can't do much else with it. Won't take too long to load up pallets with it though. And actually that's why I've gone with pallets rather than with anything else, because we don't really have anything that can deal with big bags on the farm. Our little skid steer can't do it, and this can't do it, so not really much point in getting the big bags. Unless we were going to change a load of stuff around. There we are. That is all on there. This can be parked up again outside the shop. And we'll head back up to the farm once we got these strapped down. And we'll head out. That's interesting. That straps down. That does not. I'm still on the lookout for a small tractor that we can use on our farm to sort out the weed and fertilizer issues on field 58. We've got all of those very high grown weeds on there and all of the lack of nitrogen that needs fixing. And we can't do it with this tractor because I don't believe this tractor does have a care wheel option. Someone did suggest I go through all the other wheel options and just see what there is. Normally, a mod or a tractor will have it all on the base tires, on the Trelleborg tires, but this does not have any of those options on there. So yeah, it's a bit of a problem from that point of view. This tractor is great, but really you want to be catching everything early on and not having to be doing anything on your crops once they've grown. And that is my fault a bit. It's going to be a costly error that we've got. Right, will this open up? Am I not connected up properly? I am. Oh, maybe this will only open up if it's all unfolded. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think we need to unfold this to open it up. I don't know how well this is going to then load up. So let's unfold and see if we can get this to load up from the side. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get my little skid steer out. There we go. And do it. But looks like we're all right. Yep. In goes the seeds. We want oats with this. So oats, there we go. I would plant rye, but the rye doesn't pay very well, especially compared to the oats. So I want to go with something that's going to give us a good amount of money. And oats just seems to be the best choice from that point of view. Let's head down to the bottom of the field. And now with plenty of fertilizer and seed, we are going to be able to take on this field and get it all sorted today, I think. Now we're still sitting here with the 90 kilograms per hectare. I think that's actually, that might be per acre. 90 kilograms per acre application. That is not the auto application. So let's turn the auto application on. That will set that all up. So we'll start this up. We will set it down. We are doing the oats, and away we go. I want to turn this around fairly quickly because we also need to get this field rolled today. We have a decent sized roller, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But we do need to turn it around today. And, well, otherwise we miss our window for getting the oats. Otherwise we miss our window for getting everything fully rolled and sorted. By the next day we've had growth and it'll be too late. So definitely want to get this all done today, sorted and in. We are not using the fertilizer at a very fast rate at all. It is, yeah, it's going down nice and slowly, which is exactly what I want to see. There are definitely strips on here where the slurry just had no effect. And it's not the bits here where it's not marked on the ground. It's bits sort of halfway through rows and things where it just hasn't applied, and we're getting like 80-90 kilograms of application at that point. It's very weird. I have it a lot on precision farming, even when I have like sections going right up beside each other. I will get those areas where it needs a lot of it. I mean, you can see we went through one just then. And then here, where I'm riding over an area where I absolutely have gone and given a little bit of space between it, we're still only getting 20 to 30 kilograms. So it's a very weird little glitch that it doesn't always apply it everywhere it should. I'm glad I bought the extra seed and fertilizer. We've easily used up the excess that we had. Certainly of the fertilizer we have, we're down to 770 liters. And we had 198 liters on top. So yeah, we've easily used up that. We've also used up the seed. We are below 1,000 liters now on the seed. So the fact that both of those have gone below the amount that we had, or the amount that we bought, means that we needed to refill both of those. It's gone well though. It's applying it well. We're not applying a huge amount across most of this field, so it's a good distribution, and it's looking good for getting these oats in the ground. We've reached that point in the field where we need to start concentrating on the weird section going up the top. So we'll do one more bit up here, like that. And then we'll start working our way up to that top section. It's a little bit weird. I probably should have done the top section first, looking back on it, because now it's going to be unavoidable for me to go drive on the crop. I'm actually going to do the headlands for this bottom section as a result. And that way we have all of this cleared out. I know the very bottom section of this is going to require 2 passes. Yeah, so we can come and get that on the way back. Especially going all the way out here. But it's a weird field to plant this. That section at the top is very, very odd and just causes all sorts of issues. One thing I do find interesting about this seeder is even pulling uphill like this, I don't need to reduce the power on the tractor. This tractor is very capable of pulling this seeder no matter what I've thrown at it so far. So again, good pairing with this tractor. This tractor works well with almost everything we have on the farm. It's a little bit overpowered for a couple of bits, but in general, it just works, and I'm as happy with it now as I was on day one. I think I probably say this every episode now, but I'm impressed with this Fendt. The only thing that I do need to rectify is using the mowers correctly on it, and maybe actually changing the mowers, because I'm not sure our mowers will hook up in the way that I want to hook them up next time. Just about finished off the weird section. Gonna bring this round here and square this off if I can. Yeah, just a little bit of, no, actually that'll be fine. So we'll square that off there. I then should have enough width on this to go round and do this headland, I believe. And then we'll finish off in the bottom corner, and we can get the roller out and start getting this all rolled in. And then we're done. And that will be actually a huge amount of work done on this field today. But it's everything that I wanted to get done on here, which is, yeah, absolutely perfect for what I'm after. I think I'm using that word a lot today. This is going pretty perfectly for what I'm after at the moment. We are below half of the fertilizer, we're below half of the seed, and it hasn't used a huge amount of each and hasn't cost us a fortune. The way to top this day off would be to have a tractor turn up that we could add to the farm and deal with the weeds and the fertilizing we need to do on the linseed. And there we have it. We're down to 576 liters of fertilizer, 620 liters of seeds. Fold all that up, and we'll head back up to the farm, park this up, and grab the rollers. I think this seeder just went over the hour. We had a £2,400 leasing cost turn up. Does it tell me how many hours actually there are on the seeder? Rented. No, it doesn't. I'd have to go and have a look. But seems to be running okay. Let's back this up and grab the rollers and make sure I grab the right rollers this time. Last time I tried to start doing the grass field with these rollers, which was completely the wrong ones. Had to return them to the shed and start all over again. But yeah, these are my field rollers opposed to my grass rollers. I've got all my grass stuff in one shed now and all my field stuff in the other. So that should help me to not make that kind of mistake again. Yeah, look at the size of these things. Perfect for getting a field like this done quickly, which is exactly what we want to do. Back it up here. Down with our roller. Down the field. And yeah, I'm going to do the weirdly shaped bit first, because then we can clear up where we have to turn around in the main field afterwards. Coming around the end of the top section, like so. And then I'm going to hug the top of the field up here a bit. And pull us out. And then bring it across in a moment, so that we can get that bit there done. Yeah, it all gets a little bit fiddly at this point. Alright, and we'll go straight across here like this to fill this in. And yeah, that will help. I'm going to have some overlap, I think. I'm definitely going to have some overlap, because there's no way I'm going to get right in this corner here. And then I'm going to pull this bit across here like so. And that will fill in the top end of this field. Or at least get the vast majority of it. And then, yeah, we can come round here and start doing the rest of the field with a little bit of overlap to cover the straight bit there. After a couple of weird rounds, we've got it sorted and going nicely across the field with some good straight lines. And it's only 2:30. This is good progress. This is how it feels when it's going well. Now, what I want to concentrate on next month is going to be getting the first cut of silage done for the year. We're looking at our first set of growth hitting in May, or yeah, our first full set of growth, which is a little bit later than I'd liked. I'd really like to have hit now in April, but we weren't ready for it even if that was the case. Now, hitting in May means that we can cut it in May and we should be able to sell it about July, so just before harvest, which will be very, very useful. We won't really have money, though, up until that point. I think we can sell the field beans in June, although their best price might come up in May, so we're going to be watching that next month as well. If their best price comes up next month, that would be perfect, because what we'll be able to do then is possibly afford the new piece of kit we need, which is a small tractor with some care wheels and a sprayer, and get field 58 done. I think whatever way I look at it next time, though, I'm gonna have to sort field 58. It is full of weeds. It doesn't have enough fertilizer on it, enough nitrogen in its soil, and it is very, very definitely getting close to harvest. So yeah, lots of work to do on that field in the next couple of months, and lots of mowing to do as well. I think we're gonna have to see what happens next month as to how much we can actually fit in. Just a little bit left to finish up on the headland, straighten things out, make sure everything is covered. I think, yeah, we've got a few little bits we've missed here and there, but I'm not too worried about them as normal. That's not going to massively reduce our yield across the field. There was a comment that I seem to be getting a lot more done on this series than I have been on previous series like Six Ashes, where I was really pushed to get everything done in 2-day months, and now I'm having a single-day month, and I seem to be going through everything. We had more fields on Six Ashes for a start. Sorry, not Six Ashes, on Attingham Park. We had more fields on Attingham Park. They were larger fields. We had smaller equipment, and yeah, while we were doing 2-day months, we were doing them at 10 times, whereas we're doing a single day here at 6 times. So everything is a little bit more in our favor on here, but we still have a pretty tight time restriction. As I said before, I would like to add a 3rd field onto here for us to farm, and I think our time that we have to get everything done would really be restricted if we did that. So yeah, I think that there is the possibility to push us a little bit more on here, and a 3rd field would definitely do that. Speaking of which, there is currently a field available on auction. Down the bottom, it is field 94. It's currently going for 50,000. I have a feeling if we bought that, we would be able to immediately sell it, make a profit on it, and buy the field we actually want to buy. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think we should buy a field at auction and immediately sell it on, so that we can buy a field we want to buy? Or is that as bad as field flipping? I don't know if that is. We're not harvesting the crop off there and then immediately selling it, so that we end up with an extra crop income from it, and haven't lost anything on the purchase of it. But I do feel that it's a little bit disingenuous. So I'm interested in what you guys think to that. Do you think we should be able to buy a field and immediately sell it for a profit, so that we can then go and buy a field that we actually want to buy? Let us know down in the comments, and I might put a bid in it for it if people think I should. Right, let's drop this trailer off here. Oh, over here. And then we'll drop our tractor off. And we can... Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to put the tractor in at the workshop. We will have a look and see if you can actually put care wheels on this tractor. Back it into our workshop here. And I can leave it in here overnight. That'll be fine. But does this tractor take... Or does this tractor have a wheel type which has any care wheels on it? So Trelleborg is the most likely one. No, Trelleborg doesn't have any. Continentals also don't have any. Lots of wide tires on this tractor. Oh, there's only wide tires on the Continentals. BKT is only wide tires by the looks of things as well. Verdestein is only wide tires. Yeah, whoever made this mod really likes their wide tires on these fence. No care wheels on them at all, though. It seems I've been neglecting the wool on this map a little bit. It's been sitting there for a little while and slowly building up, but I'd been planning to try and get it all set up and sold and everything when it reached the best price. Thankfully, while I was going through what I needed to do on the farm, I suddenly noticed it was sitting there, that we'd got a fair amount of it, and that best price had just peaked. So best price for the wool is normally around May time. We can see it in here. So yeah, best price is in May. Currently, best price is 2,182. We are just below that and dropping. 2,178. So we're gonna get pretty much best price for this, not far off. So I'm quite happy with that. And I'm glad I caught it as a result, because we could do with that extra £7,000 right about now. What I'm going to need to do is get the trailer on the tractor in a moment and load this up. I'm hoping that having the skid steer on here is really going to help this as well, because we should be able to maneuver into this really tight space we have here. And backing up to... Oh, I was really hoping I was going to be able to back up to the wall here and pick this up. Instead, what I'm going to do is just push this forward a little bit. Come back in here. Yep. And then we can come straight down, and lining that up, we'll be able to get into here without too much hassle. So yeah, skid steer is really useful. It allows us to move in these small spaces, and really makes it easier for us to get these bales collected up and stacked. Of course, I need something to stack them onto, so we're going to hook up the little trailer here and use this. This is proving to be a much more useful little trailer than the big one that it replaced. It's not a huge amount of stuff we ever really transport up to the farm, and having just a little trailer we can more easily maneuver. It makes the job so much easier. So we'll put that there, and then we can quickly get these loaded up. I'm going to try and do them in 2 lots of 2 across. So nice square with these. I'm umming and erring about taking the single small pallet we've got. If we've got enough space on here, I might do it. Otherwise, I'm not going to worry too much about it. And yeah, we only have 3 full pallets and that little one. So yeah, we got space on there for it. So we'll push this forward so that we can actually get into it. Then down and in. And grab it. I could possibly get 2 pallets at once if I push them all back first. But as it stands at the moment, it's just as easy to grab a single pallet and take it back instead. Last pallet, and this is just that little one that we had kicking around. Gives us a good amount. I'm actually surprised at how much wool we have. It's a pretty good haul here, and should do us interestingly well. About 7,000 is what we're expecting to get. Oh, not quite under the bit there, but that's all good. So we'll go park this back up in the shed, and then I can, yeah, we can go get this sold and see how much money we'll make from it. Price has been dropping fairly constantly for this wool since we've started. I want to knit across here though. Oh, in fact, this field here, this is the one that's for sale. What crop has it got in it? It's not too far from us. It has oats. It's a reasonable size. Let's bring up F1 and see what it... 57,501 is the current price. The actual value of this field is 30,000. Wow, yeah. I don't want to touch this field with a barge pole. That's paying 20,000 over the odds for that field. So even if I did want to buy it, sell it on, and then buy the field I was looking for, that's not a good price, unless the price is sitting that low at the moment, because it is up for sale. 88. Yeah, the value of the fields around it make me think that this is actually the starting bidding value for this field. I don't think that we'd actually be able to get it for that much. It'd be interesting to see what it goes for. But yeah, based on everybody's feedback, I think that having a selling that, buying it immediately, selling it on for a profit, and then buying the other field that we want, probably wouldn't be in the spirit of things, so I'm going to avoid doing that. We're going to try and sell this here. Will this sell here? Yes, it will. In it goes. 7,518 plus 201. So yeah, £7,719 that all went for. That is a really good boost to our cash. With so much to do today, I think we're going to have to pick very carefully what we do next. Now, we could go and either spray the herbicide and nitrogen to sort our fields out, or we can go and cut the grass and get that done. The grass, I think, of those two jobs is probably the one that can wait. And if we run out of time today, that will be the one that would work for us best to wait for. Getting a full day's run at everything there would make a massive difference. However, we do need then to get hold of a tractor and a sprayer. We can't spray the fields with what we've got. We're gonna have to grab something to do that with. And unfortunately, there's nothing in the shop. Oh, there's one of the tankers that we bought last time. Our tanker is leased, isn't it? Yeah. And to purchase that at the moment would cost me 11,986. But that's yeah, no, that I can't. Again, and we also got a skid steer in the shop. It's got 31 hours on it. We do own one of these and could possibly sell ours for more money and get. Let's have a look at this. Ours is worth 80. Ours is probably worth 20,000. I'm actually considering selling ours and buying that. We would probably make about 10,000 on that. That would give us 45,000. Looking at possible tractors, I think I'm basically going to be going with something like the little Massies. Yeah, these Massies down here. For 26,000, we can get this little 600 four-wheel drive. We don't need a huge amount of horsepower on it. I think we'd probably have to bump it up to 90 horsepower, which goes to 32,000. And yeah, we need to get a set of narrow tires on it as well. Not horrible. Oh, can we? Yeah, we'd have to put front weight on it too. So that would be our tractor that we'd be looking to get 30,000. I think that we can probably make the extra 10,000 by selling our newer one of these and getting the older, buying the older one. So we'll do that switch out first. We'll put the same number plate on and everything and just do a straight switch over. And then I think while we're down there, we might get a little Massey tractor with a sprayer on it as well and go from there. On my way down to the shop, and the field is sold for 54,763. I'm wondering if the price has now changed of it. Yeah, so wow, that was about half price. So yeah, it's conceivable we could have flipped it for 50,000, which is interesting. More interesting, I wonder if we could have bought it outright for the 30,000 while it was sitting there, rather than going through the bidding process, or whether it would have prevented me from actually bidding on it as a result, or buying it and instead tell me to bid on it. Really intrigued by that. But yeah, we could have made about 50,000 if I'd have borrowed a little bit of money and immediately sold that field on. Taking a little while, but we're down to the shop, so let's get this into the workshop, which is over this way here. I think I might try and buy the other one first before we go and sell this. But let's just get this up on the ramp a little bit first. and customize. Yeah, okay. Now that should mean that we are able to get the same license plate. Also, I want to make sure I have the same setup. So let's see what this has. So this has nothing on it. So front loader, no skid steer. We want the standard, yeah, TH400 tires on it. Design, we want the sunshade. Main color, we want the red. Rim color, I think we also want the red. Actually, do I want the black? Do I want the gray? Don't think I have a gray. I have a white. Oh yeah, we'll go with that gray. There we go. And I will have to change this afterwards, I think. But I think it was M747ARC was the number plate we're looking for. So yeah, back only, okay. And that should be everything. So let's buy that. 14,790. So yes, that is that purchased. And so if we go back to the one in here, yeah, so that is the setup. M747ARC, yeah. And we will repair this, yes. And we will repaint it, yes. And then we'll sell it for 22,000. Perfect. So that is a nice little turnaround. We're up to 40,000. So doing that, we've added an extra 5,000 to our little war chest that we have here. And so we're going to get the MF600 four-wheel drive. We are going to go front weight. We are going to bump it up to 90 horsepower. We're going to leave Trelleborg on and get the narrow tires. Air filter design 1. Beacon, yes, we want a right-hand beacon for a British road. Fenders, no. Interior design 1 or 2. I'm going to go with design 2. I like the black interior. No front loader attacher. We do want the Isaria setup, but we're not going to put it on yet because we're going to need to borrow a little bit of money to do that. And then the main color, we've either got grays or we got the black. I think I prefer the black there. Then I just need to go and pick someone from Patron to put on the number plate. So congratulations to Thefisherj. You have been selected at random from the producer level patrons. So I'm going to go with J317TFJ for your number plate. We will okay that. Do we back only? I think yes. So I am happy with that. Let's buy that, please. Yes. Okay. And then the bit of kit we're going to need to use today is going to be a sprayer. And we've got a few choices here. There's the Kubota sprayer here. That comes with the spot sprayer. But I think I might go with... the Converland, to be honest. I think that would be a good choice. So this one should work. It does have spot spraying. I'm going to give it the smallest width. And we're going to lease that. That is going to cost us 3,340 to lease. And then I'm going to get a pallet of herbicide. We'll go with the Helm herbicide here. And just one pallet of that. And that should do us there for that as well. Right, so we do not need to get the extra... we don't need to get the crop sensors on here yet. We'll probably borrow the money later to do that. But at the moment, I just want to get the weeds sorted on both fields. So back this up. And perfect. Lift that. Refill it from that. We are going to have to come back down here with the flatbed trailer in a bit and pick all of this up. So that should be absolutely fine. But yeah, and that is... oh man, that's wheeling. That's not great. Okay, what I'm going to have to do, I think, is empty that out. And we're not going to completely fill it. So I'm going to half refill my my sprayer, because we don't need a massive amount, and the wheeling is not quite so bad. It's still not great, but it's at least not going up the road on just its back wheels. I think it might be sensible to see if we can get a front 3-point for this tractor and get it so that we have a little bit more weight at the front. Won't be such a problem while we're doing the herbicide here, because we don't need a huge amount of herbicide for the spot sprayer. But when we come to do the fertilizing, we're probably gonna want some extra weight on here so that we can carry a bit more fertilizer, especially in the linseed field. I think this field actually will probably be all right, but the linseed, yeah, that is very much gonna need the extra. And that missed some weeds back there then. Just get those sorted. Yeah, there we go. And that means we should be able to get this done fairly swiftly now. Spot sprayer taking very good care very quickly of all those weeds. I love seeing these spot sprayers working. It's just absolutely beautiful. Going around taking all the weeds out from these fields, using the minimal amount of herbicide they have to, and making the crop nice and free of weeds, while at the same time increasing my yield or increasing my amount I get, because it increases the environmental score very nicely. Just, yeah, absolute joy to see working. And every little bit just taking out those spots of weeds. Well over halfway through this field, and we've used 2% of the herbicide we had in here, which was only 1,000 liters, I think. That was it. No, it's not even that. It was 900 liters we had in here, and yeah, we've used 23 liters of herbicide on this whole field so far. I would be surprised if we used more than about 40 liters on here. That would be quite a lot. I think we're going to use more on the next field, simply because our weed problem is a lot worse there. But yeah, at the moment it's using very little herbicide on here and cleaning the field up nicely. Just about done on the first field here, just making sure that we're not missing any in this last stretch. I think we might have up here a little bit. I think I saw, yeah, there's a thin slither that goes through here. We'll just clear that off, and then we will give a quick check on our weed control status. Turn the sprayer off. And then switch over to here and have a look at the weeds. That's cleared things pretty nicely. There's a couple of little patches here and there, but in general, that field's all done. And it used less than 40 liters as well. 861 liters left, so 39 liters used. 47% left, so yeah, 3% of the tank used. Yeah, oh wow, look at the height that the weeds have got in this field. We definitely need to clear these out. So fold out our sprayer, lift it up a little bit so that we're above the crop, and we'll start spot spraying through here. And yep, that is getting rid of the weeds. We're definitely using the herbicide at a larger rate here. We did let the weeds grow a bit longer in this field, and as a result there is a larger amount of them. And that's why we're down to 45% now. We've used, I think we've used about another 30 liters on here. In fact, yeah, we've used another 35 liters on here by the looks of things, which is almost as much as we used on the entire field, the entirety of the last field when we finished it. So it's going to be a little bit more here this time. In fact, we are about to hit the 39. In fact, we've hit the 39 liter mark. that we'd hit before, and we're now up to the 41 litre mark. So used more herbicide on here, but as we got taller weeds and more of them, that's not surprising. Yeah, and just trying to get this last strip so that we encompass everything. Yep, that's got that and that. I think we might have a singular weed down the bottom end of the field, but otherwise it's been a pretty good coverage on here. We're up to the line of where we're supposed to be. Let's have a quick check, and yeah, as I suspected, there's a few weeds down the bottom. There's a few there, but majority of them are covered. Actually, looking at this, doesn't seem to be a whole lot worse than field 109. So not quite sure why we ended up using a considerable amount more herbicide on here, but we did. Hopefully that shouldn't be too much of a problem, though. We only used 5% of what this tank can hold, so we're going to have plenty of herbicide kicking around the farm going forwards. So we'll unload the excess near the shed here, like that. And then I think I need to go down to the shop and probably... In fact, let's take the trailer down to the shop and bring everything back on that, rather than taking the Massey down there and again leaving it just a little bit down there for us to pick up later. So I'm going to need a front 3-point for that little Massey, I think, going forwards. But now we're just going to bring this into here. We'll use the shop forklift to load up what we've got. So open up the sides and then jump into the shop forklift over here. We've got the 2 Bowsers of herbicide here. Neither of them have a huge amount in. But because we unloaded stuff, we need to do that. So there's 200 litres in this one. This could go right at the front, like that. Oh, a little bit like that. A little bit too far forward. Sometimes careful maneuvering is needed. We need to get 3 of these Bowsers on this trailer, so I need to get as far forward with these as I can. Grab the second one and in and under. What are the other ones that they're using on here? It's just sort of standard yellow trucks, aren't they? Right, and then put this as far forward as I can get it. How I keep picking them up at an angle, I don't know. Right, and then forwards. Oh, it's knocking on the other one. That's the trouble. Right, there we go. And slot it in beside. And lift it up a little bit forward on the forks. And get further in. Don't want to push the other one off the other side, which is what I'm in danger of doing. But both of those down, and then we've just got 1 lot of liquid fertilizer to purchase as well. Right, so let's get the Helm liquid fertilizer. Buy that. Don't have enough. Right, so this is where the first of borrowing money comes in today. Borrow another 5,000. And then we can afford the liquid fertilizer, buy that. And then we can load it onto the trailer and get it back up to the farm, as long as I've left myself enough space to slot it on the back here. I'm not sure I have. What's that sitting on? Okay, that's not sitting on the actual trailer back. I think, yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, it does. Just fits in here. Perfect. Very carefully slot it in, drop it down, and done. Right, let's strap that down. We'll park this up, and then we'll head back up to the farm. Now we've got these back up here. What we want to do is load this up with the fertilizer at the back. So let's see if we can get this right around the back of here. And again, we only want to do it to about half full. because otherwise this tractor is just going to continue to wheelie. So maybe 40% is a better way to go. And there we go, 51%. That's good. And I'm just going to see if we can attach the crop sensors to this. Is that far enough into here? Yes, it is. Perfect. Right. So first things I'm going to need to do is borrow another 15,000. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to customize the Massey, and we're going to add the Isaria attachments to it. Perfect. Customize that. Yes. Yeah. There we go. And then it can be attached to all of this. Start it back up. Lift up that. And with any luck now... Oh, no. We've got no front weight on this. We took the front weight off. I really dislike it when mods do this. So keep the configuration I've got, please. So that I can actually... I'll bring it right in here. There we go. Customize. There isn't anything else I can do with the front weight. So yeah, it's either yes or no on the front weight. Check that nothing else has come off. Yeah, it is just that front weight. Customize. Won't cost me anything. And we're done. Right. And then reconnect that, and that. Let's get back out onto this field and go and get the nitrogen levels increased so that we have a great crop this year. So I do actually want to spray both of these fields. So let's turn on the crop sensors. So Alt-B to do that. Bring this out. And what this should do, you can see this is putting just a really small amount onto this field. It needs doing to optimize everything. So start it up. And you actually see where we've driven with the crop sensors, it's gone slightly darker before bringing it back up, because the crop sensors are much more accurate for how that should go. So that's a good thing. That is actually going to increase the yield on here quite nicely. This little tractor is actually doing really well with this. I think we would have benefited from a smaller sprayer or a trailed sprayer with it, because yeah, it is struggling a little bit with the weight. I think if we get a 3-point weight on it, or a 3-point on the front of this, and then add the weight that way, we'll be much better off. All in all, though, this is being pretty good. We've got a decent amount going onto the field when needed. It is not putting a whole load on. So yeah, we've not used much at the moment. The really interesting one is going to be when we get onto that linseed and see where we are with that. But this is doing a bit of an increase. So we'll keep going across the field. It's a little hard to see, and because I've not got GPS on this, that is making things a little bit more interesting. But all in all, I think we're going to be okay, and we're easily going to have enough here to get this job done. Just about done, and I think I've covered the whole field. Certainly seems to be the way with this. So that's got that. We're down to 48%, so I only used 4% on this field here. We're going to go down to the linseed now, and 800 litres might be enough for us to finish that field off and get that all up, which would be really good. I mean, we'll be in a position then next month where all we really have to concentrate on is the grass. I think, however, we might also have the field beans coming up for sale soon. I think they're actually July. So field beans, yeah, we're expecting July, but looking at that price going up, And the fact that we've had it happen before that stuff goes up, that is how it works quite well. I don't understand how we have some wool, but we don't have much of it, so I don't know where that's come from. But yeah, field beans, I'm expecting them to possibly be sold next month, if not our current month. And yeah, look at that already. We can see that we have a much increased requirement on this field for how much we've got to spray. It's going to be 4 times as much as what we have elsewhere, or what we have had on the previous field. Not a big problem though, because we have got the fertilizer to do it. While we're using a lot more fertilizer on here to get this up, it is a lot easier to see on the map where I've been and where I need to go. So this is going to be a much easier field to handle overall. Need to make sure I'm properly on the field though. I'm going to hit that 3 there. Yeah, this is good. We're down to 42%. We are going through stuff a little bit faster, but with what we've got down here and what we got at the farm, we'll easily have enough. We'll just have to maybe make a second trip because of the weight limit we have with this tractor. I really love the fields of linseed. They are absolutely gorgeous with all these blue flowers. What an amazing crop. I'd love to see this in real life. It must be a wonderful crop to sort of drive past and see in the fields. Because it is, yeah, all these blue flowers must just be absolutely amazing when you drive past. I'm fairly sure I could cart this year with this tractor. Take a little bit of the pressure off of our big tractor that we've been using all year. And do that. We might give it a try. See if it connects up to our class trailer and is able to handle it, especially with that muddy hill going up to the yard. It's not a massively fast tractor, this 21 miles an hour, but we should be able to get back and forth to and from our fields with it. We might have to use the vent when we're selling stuff, but I want to give this tractor a try. We've got 2 tractors on the farm now. We probably should spread the load a little bit with them. And there we go. That should just finish things off. And done. I'm very happy about that. We've got both of our fields sprayed. Oh, no. Get that. Yeah, get that folding up. And this little Massey has performed admirably to get us started. I am not going to start cutting the grass. Originally, I was going to cut the grass today, but I think we are better off leaving it as is and cracking on with that next time all in one go. I very much want to get the grass cut next time though, and get some new silage bales fermenting so that we've got some more money coming in towards the end of the year after the harvest. We might get one more cut in after that as well, which would be great. However, I think that's it for us today. So all that remains is for me to say
thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.